Well, then, as South Africa marks 27 years of freedom today, since the day, of course, where the first democratic elections took place 27 years ago, many have argued that not much has changed. Millions of South Africans still don't have access to basic services. Our reporter, Govan Whittles, has been monitoring the commemorations and celebrations really held by some of the opposition parties in the country. Govan, joining us from our newsroom here in Hyde Park. Govan, how have the opposition parties been marking Freedom Day?
By criticizing the incumbent government, Thembekile, and also criticizing the state of our economy and our country with unemployment close to 40% and the state of Eskom. There's been a lot of negative comments about how the ANC government has been managing the South African economy and South African society since they took over. And many of the political parties believe that much of the 27 years of freedom was wasted because of what they say is the ANC's failure to introduce policies and change legislation that would bring about structural and fundamental change in the country. I prepared a report with a few comments from the political parties, as well as some commentary from the Gauteng government, which held a commemoration event for the life of Chris Hani due to his assassination being linked to the National Party eventually agreeing to an election date, and that being how we ended up with 27 April 1994. Let's have a look at this report now. The Gauteng government held a commemoration event outside Chris Hani's home to remember his contribution to South Africa's freedom and to helping secure an election date. The Arts and Culture MEC is encouraging vibrant debate about South Africa in Hani's memory.
One of the things that disheartens us is how individuals are turning such important days into bright days. And people think it's a time to just sit at home and so forth. But we think that it's important that as much as we're with family and so forth, let's use these days as a way for us to engage amongst each other as families of where we are and how far we've come.
The DA held a rally in Ebega where the party's leader lamented the state of the economy.
Now, the struggle for a democratic nation may have ended in 1994, but the struggle for economic freedom is still very far from having been won. For many, it hasn't even begun.
EFF leader Julius Malema says there is nothing to celebrate because the majority of South Africans remain in poverty.
We have nothing. Yet we are called upon to celebrate landlessness. When they say to you, let's go and celebrate Freedom Day, they mean you must celebrate not having a land. They mean you must celebrate being unemployed.
And COPE leader Mosiuoa Lekota says 27 years after the first democratic elections, South Africa faces a leadership crisis.
Well, now we have a freedom maybe to go and vote. But vote for whom and for what? Because the leaders who, like President Mandela, promised and tried to implement what they had promised are nowhere to be found today.
But beneath the scathing criticism lingers the spectre of the upcoming local government elections, where all these parties are hoping to score enough votes to gain more power. Govan Whittles, Johannesburg.